Ooh, we got some spice coming out today. I think I'm going to be ahead of a lot of the blue-haired hot takes on Avengers Endgame screen time discrepancy, but I am so happy to bring you some interesting news today around just how the screen time with each individual superhero breaks down and how people are a little excited over the fact that the male actors have 3 times more screen time than Brie Larson. Are we ready? Because I know there's going to be a whole bunch of articles on this. This film is going to break every box office record. It will be the culmination of 20 to 21 other films. It feels like more than a decade. And so a lot of people, even casuals, are going to go see this to see how it all wraps up. And as it gets closer now, I'll be going tonight. I'm interested, or tomorrow, sorry, interested to see how everything shakes out. I get a little more excited, and I'm seeing that that a raccoon has 3 times the screen time as Brie Larson, so I feel like there's hope for this film yet. Avengers Endgame set to shatter box office records with $850 million, and it emerges carrying Gillian's Nebula has 3 times more screen time than Brie Larson. Sorry, Nebula has 3 times more screen time than Brie Larson. Nebula is an excellent character. You'll recognize her from, of course, the Guardians of the Galaxy films, as well as the last Avengers film. But let's get into this because it is hilarious and we're all going to have a laugh. And hey, if you're going to see Avengers Endgame, I think everything that I've seen so far in the film, all the early reviews, I mean, I wasn't worried about it based on the directorial crew that's on it. These dudes always deliver. And I'm ready. I'm actually ready to be done with Marvel movies. I don't know if it's like you, if you agree, if you just like superhero movies purely and you just want to keep rocking them, more power to you. But I've been there since like the really bad ones, like the original Incredible Hulk. And I'm just ready for it to be over. I'm ready to turn the page. That doesn't mean I'm not excited to see the film, but in a way, I'm kind of over superhero films, and I just want to move on with my cinema. But the flick, with its final chapter, has a story across 22 Marvel films in 11 years. Oh, I was right, really close, 10, 11 years. Expected to beat its predecessor, Infinity War's eye-watering $640 million worldwide opener, making it the largest debut in cinema history, and putting it on course to make a staggering $1 billion in the first week. By the way, I have that in a separate article. Screen time for all superheroes has also been released. And while Chris Evans' Captain Marvel begs the most time, I knew you'd make me say beg, damn it, BAYG in the comment section, most time with 1 hour and 6 minutes, it is Karen Gillian's Nebula who leads the pack for all females and begs 3 times more screen time than Brie Larson's Captain Marvel. Wow. That is the first big twist. I mean, I am very surprised to hear that, to be honest with you. And I will admit that I was clearly wrong. I thought the director would have just, Kevin Feige would have just made sure that Brie was in every cut, the entire film, all the press junkets you've seen running, a lot of the posters they have Brie Larson up front and center, just behind Captain Marvel, essentially. But we're going to get into actual breakdown of screen time because it's pretty hilarious. Last year, Infinity War opened to $257 million in the U.S. and grossed $640 million worldwide. Judging by the hype around the film and early reviews, Avengers Endgame is set to be a phenomenal financial success. Endgame has already shattered pre-sale records, including selling more advanced tickets in the first 24 hours than any picture in history. Avengers Endgame has already set an opening day record in China with an estimated 107 million in ticket sales, and as revealed by distributor Walt Disney Co. on Wednesday. The highest-grossing film of all time so far is James Cameron's Avatar, released in 2009, which raked in $2.8 billion in global box office. You know what's funny? Never seen it. Never saw it. Was never interested in seeing it. Zoiks. I never even saw Titanic. I never saw Apollo 13. I never saw like a lot of the big blockbuster films. And now I feel like going back and watching Avatar, I wouldn't be as impressed. But when we break down, meanwhile, according to The Sun, British star Karen Gillan, I hope I'm saying that, is revealed to bag the most screen time of all female co-stars, appearing in 41 minutes as the cyborg Nebula. Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow enjoys 33 minutes of screen time, and franchise latest star, Captain Marvel by Brie Larson, appears only 15 minutes. She has about the second least of all actors, and we're going to show that in a minute. Her character, Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, is briefly referenced in mid-credit scene of following Avengers Infinity War, and the character is a major addition to the superhero team in the upcoming Endgame. The upcoming film currently boasts a 95% certified fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes from top critics, and was a beneficiary of gushing praise following the official premiere. Now, who gives a crap what, quote, top critics say? They are paid shills. We have already known them to openly lie about films, but that's neither here nor there. Now, Avengers Endgame follows on from Infinity War's epic, traumatizing twist. We saw half of the universe disintegrate after the evil demigod Thanos collected all 6 Infinity Stones on the Infinity Gauntlet. Now, I want to go to... With only Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson, Hawkeye, Jeremy Renner, Hulk, Shuri, Rocket, Ant-Man, I forget how to say her name, Thor, War Machine, Captain America, team are now left in limbo. The remaining Avengers must team up in one final stand against Thanos, and will have to figure out how to bring back their loved ones. Avengers Endgame hits theaters April 26th. That is tomorrow. Now, the screen time issue, mark my words, there's going to be all sorts of articles about how this is a huge letdown and how savagely oppressive it is. Here's the first one of many, I assume. Avengers Endgame is on track to be one of the greatest hits in cinema history, raking in this 694 euro or pounds, at opening. The Marvel blockbuster is predicted to surpass Avengers Infinity War by 200 million, which would crown the new superhero film the largest debut in the history of cinema. Obviously, okay? Now, let's look at the actual time breakdown here. We have basically the main trio, or the main duo, to be honest with you, Iron Man and Captain America, both at, let's just call it an hour. We're not going to quibble over 4 minutes difference. Then you kind of jump down to the second tier, which is Hulk, Mark Ruffalo, Jeremy Renner, Hawkeye, Ant-Man, 38 minutes. That's pretty strong for Ant-Man. War Machine at 35, and Thor for 45. So it's basically Captain America, Iron Man. Then you have Thor, Hawkeye, Hulk, Ant-Man, Black Widow, War Machine. All right. Then you have Wong, which I feel like was in what? He was in Infinity War, I thought, if I remember right, and Doctor Strange briefly. He's in it for 6 minutes. And you have Nebula, at 41 minutes, almost 3 times what Captain Marvel has, and Rocket at 36 minutes. So Rocket is really in that mid-tier. So you basically have top tier is Captain Marvel and Iron Man. Then you have basically everyone else, Ant-Man, Thor. I guess you could give Thor a second tier, and then third tier would be Ant-Man, Hawkeye, War Machine, Hulk, Nebula, Rocket, and Thor and Nebula really together. It's very close. With a roster of 30 superheroes, Captain Marvel is basically irrelevant in the movie. 15 minutes. That's it. Unless she just swoops in at the end. The press tour and all the marketing around this film really led me to believe she would have had a much bigger role, but her role is tiny. Tiny. I mean, you can see how the article frames it. Brie Larson appears for only 15 minutes despite her recent blockbuster. Again, I think Marvel knows that This is about fan service, and which means you're going to see some articles, some of the contrarian type articles out there. They're going to say, oh, well, this is fan service, so that's toxic because these are the same fans that review Brigaded Captain Marvel, and giving them what they want is just so terrible, and shame on the Russo brothers for putting together an amazing film. Now, I haven't seen it yet, all right? There are people that I trust that have seen it that really liked it. Maybe I'll go tonight for a really late film and give a review, but I don't know that anybody's going to be waiting on a review from me on the film. They're either going to see it or they're not. And there's going to be people that are on the fence that are just like, look, I got to put a bow on this thing. I'm going to go see Endgame. Now, a big reason I haven't been streaming this week is to protect you all from, because people are putting spoilers in a lot of people's live chats. That was a good meme in The Last Jedi. And I didn't want to expose anyone to that. So I took the week off from live streaming, at least until people can have a couple of days to see it. But, Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow enjoys 33 minutes, and Tessa Thompson's Valkyrie appears for just 8 minutes. Avengers Endgame is directed by the Russo brothers, who shot last year's Infinity War, which is one of the best Marvel movies I've ever seen. Endgame, the sequel to Infinity War, is the last of the 21 earlier titles in the MCU. A blockbuster series of films commenced with Iron Man in 2008. Avengers Infinity War ran for 2.5 hours. Its current record holder. It's like they're trying to use the YouTube algorithm for view time. Yeah, they're trying to get watch time up. I'm not surprised that Marvel didn't break it up into frickin' 2 parts and make us pay to see 2 films. That would have been pretty spicy. The number 2 for the highest grossing is obviously Avatar, followed by Titanic in 1997, which is saying something, because if you adjust for inflation, that would probably make Titanic pretty dang close to the top. Endgame follows Infinity War's infamous twist, which saw, I don't know if it was infamous. I mean, I like kind of the real spicy take. I like that dark side of the MCU, to be honest with you. I like films with stakes. I don't like, that's why I like, as much as I really like Guardians of the Galaxy 1, the second one never felt really serious. It never felt like real stakes were ever on the line. And you can have that problem, honestly, with superhero films. A lot of times, you never really feel like they're in trouble, that they're so invincible. And then when you end up with no stakes at all, well, then it's not as interesting. That's why I like the Dark Knight trilogy so much, is because Batman wasn't like invincible. He definitely had some stakes out there. And when he got disorientated by Scarecrow, when Bane overpowered him, there's a lot of stakes in that movie. And that's something that I think the current generation of superhero films often miss. That was my one big thing I didn't like about Shazam. I know Shazam is a great film and all that kind of stuff, but and I would still give it a mid-80s score, but you never really felt any stakes in that film, and that's what I want out of my superhero film. So I guess if you're worried about Captain Marvel coming in and being super duper powerful, I mean, maybe she could swoop in and final blow. Brie Larson can give Thanos the final blow. That's fine. I don't care, as long as her screen time is maximized and it's good. Then that's all that I really care about. But what do you think? Are you getting excited for Endgame? Do you not care? Either way, if you made it to the end of the video, make sure you drop a like on it. It really helps the channel. I really appreciate all the positivity and love this week. We've been absolutely crushing it. We passed 500,000 subscribers. I never, ever thought this channel would ever get that big. And I know everyone says that, but thank you so much. And we'll talk to you again real soon.